What is going on, guys? We are back with another episode in our Nighthawks Relocation Fantasy Draft franchise. And unfortunately, as you guys know from last episode, we did miss the playoffs. So the season is officially over, but we still do have those stats and awards to look at. Normally, I would probably just throw this in, especially since we missed the playoffs. So there's not really much hype, if you will, even though the offseason is probably my most favorite time of the year. I normally would just probably throw this into something else, but since it's a fantasy draft franchise, there is a lot of different teams that we don't know what they look like anyways, and we get to kind of get a look at them on top of kind of the different combinations of players. So I think this could be a lot of fun still. Unfortunately, like we said, that loss to the Lions. I don't know, once again, what the tie-breaking scenarios would have been, but I'm pretty sure we went over it, and I'm pretty sure we were done no matter what, right? Like the Saints, we could have maybe stole a spot from. Like I said, I don't remember. Like they had us beat in like the division, the conference, and all that. But I think it goes by head-to-head first. Which, did we face the Saints? I don't know if we played the Saints, actually. If we beat the Saints, that'd be really sad. Okay, and then I think it goes by similar games. So there is a chance that we maybe would have won or made the playoffs. I'm not sure, but that's all in the past, because, of course, we didn't make it. Obviously, Kellen Mond, a ton of yards. Touchdowns were okay, but way too many picks. Like we said, kind of a Jameis Winston-type season, which, with a roster like this, that's not the craziest bad thing to have. You know, at least Tampa Bay Winston. But could still get a dev up. You know, that's a lot of yards. That put him at, what, number 4 in yards, 8th in touchdowns, which isn't even that crazy, but 42nd in passer rating. Obviously, that's not going to be, you know, like 42nd legit. Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of guys that threw a couple of passes, got some inflated numbers, but we'll see exactly how bad he was compared to the rest of the league. An 8.2 yards per attempt average, 28 sacks, but let's be honest, it was a lot more than that. We just kind of threw into picks, threw into coverage, and threw it away a lot. Hawkins did actually have an okay season considering the offensive line he played behind. 4.1 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns, just over 1,000 yards. Mond, not bad in the ground game, but of course 8 fumbles. No one else really got a chance to run the ball outside of those guys. Sky Moore missed 1,000 yards by 3. Wow. Cole Turner, 1234 for yards, 2 touchdowns. It's really good. Should go to star. Atwell, same thing, 1145 with 8 touchdowns. Sky Moore, like we said, that's rough. Claypool, that is really disappointing. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, look at Atwell, his snaps played compared to Claypool. That's just crazy. Hawkins had an amazing game or season in the receiving game. Yeboah was okay, and he came up with some clutch first downs. Offensive line, once again, the numbers are gonna look okay because we got ourselves in some trouble with that pressure. Defensively, let's take a look at these numbers. So Tyndall, Stearns, and Cox. Stearns with 100-plus tackles. That's a little surprising, actually. The sack totals, 15 for Burns, 10 on the dot for Jackson and Jordan Davis. Togiai with 3.5. He was double-teamed a lot, too. Picks, Patrick Peterson with 6. Of course, he got burned a lot, but he also came away with some crazy interceptions. 2 pick sixes in a single game, I believe. Of course, 2 pick sixes for Woolen with 5 interceptions in general. Wade with 3, who kind of got replaced midway through the season. Tyson Anderson, he was all over the place. He made some crazy plays, but also blew a lot of assignments. What about forced fumbles? Nothing really to note, to be honest. Not really much going there. Tucker only missing 1 kick, which I don't even remember, to be honest, but it was from 50-plus, so you give him a little, you cut him a little slack there. 133 downs played. Is that true? Man, what a life. just crazy. Matt Ariza, 47.3 yards per punt, which is really low for a guy that's basically the power guy, but I guess that's what happens when you're lacking on the finesse. Accuracy is not super great. Kick return, touchdown, Darden. I don't remember that at all, to be honest, but it must have happened. And those are our numbers, but obviously you still have the whole rest of the league to look at. And speaking of, wow, Brady with 54 touchdowns, 13 picks. Looking at these numbers, I would say it's either between him or Mahomes for MVP, but Dak Prescott broke the passing yards record, 51 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. 68% completion percentage, 8.3 yards per average, 20 sacks. Looking at the rest of the guys, Tom Brady obviously really good, season, highest passer rating even over Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers, not a whole lot of touchdowns, picks at 13. Kellen Mond, that's a name you expect to be in the top 5 for yards, right? That's kind of crazy. But Mahomes, Bridgewater, Lamar Jackson was pretty good with Tampa. Josh Allen was decent with Atlanta. Jordan Love for the Dolphins. What else do we have? Jimmy Garoppolo, not great. Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Russ, Mac Jones, Deshaun, Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray. Joe Burrow's numbers were, okay. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, you could probably debate that that's worse than Mond, right? So I guess when you look at it, he wasn't the worst quarterback. Definitely could have been worse, right? What else? So who had the most picks besides Mont? Wow, it was bad. Okay, it was pretty bad. All right. Okay, it was pretty bad. Who had the lowest passer rating of, in fairness, he had the third lowest passer rating. It wasn't the lowest, right? That wasn't, those completion percentage, 60% for each of those guys is really, really bad. But let's move on to the running backs. Jonathan Taylor, 1,600 yards with 20 touchdowns. That's pretty good. Christian McCaffrey, very good yards per carry. Same with Chubb. James Robinson, our yards per carry were pretty bad, but at least we were still up there with the rest of them, considering, we got over 1,000 yards. You had some guys like Pollard and Marlon Mack, Kareem Hunt. I don't know if he was a backup. Was he? Obviously we have injuries on, so could have just been an injury thing, which it seems like it was. Yeah, obviously there's some Pollard, 3.4 yards per carry, 3.7 for Marlon, 3.8 for ETN. And obviously those guys are going to likely have a much better blocking system than we had in place because, at times it really looked like we were just playing behind the high school line, which, I suppose if you're the quarterback, could get a little awkward with the hand to ball placement kind of. Tyler Lockett, number 1 in receptions, number 1 in yards, well, at least assuming, by a lot. Number 1 in yards as well. Touchdowns, who had the most? Dawson Knox. Look at the Chiefs. Just, could you stop cheesing, please? That scheme, man. Justin Jefferson with the Vikings, really good. Saints, Michael Thomas. Tyreek Hill was okay. Jerry Jeudy, Mike Evans with the Dolphins. Yeah, our tight end did have the most yards for a tight end. That's pretty damn good, right? You can't really ask for much more than that. What about the catches? He wasn't number 1, but still number 2. That'll be a forced dev if we don't get it. So at least Cole Turner is a star dev tight end at minimum. Of course, the touchdowns did suck, don't get me wrong, but still, he obviously deserves it. Zeke with a lot of yards after the catch. Same with Hawkins. Rondale Moore with some good numbers. Yeah, Hawkins had a really good year. Nearing close to is 1,850 for, or 1,750, 1,800 yards total from scrimmage, which was pretty good. Longest reception, Tyreek Hill. Who would have thought? Blocking, was it us? Actually, no. Like I said, we did have a good season technically. But obviously those numbers are going to look a lot better because, once again, we, instead of taking a sack, we said, here, take the ball. We're scared. Obviously, Bobby Wagner with the most tackles, which is, once again, far from unexpected. Sack totals, Myles Garrett with 23, Buckner with 20, Sweat with 19.5. There was some pressures this season. There was some numbers. Those are some crazy numbers. Of course, they're not going to show our guys for some reason. Greg Newsome, most interceptions in the league, it seems. Once again, you don't see our guys there, so obviously the numbers could just be completely random. What about forced fumbles? Don't really care too much, actually. Kicking, was Tucker the best kicker? Don't you dare give it to Lambeau. Don't you dare even think about it. 11 for 11 is not even on the same stratosphere as 28 for 29, and we hit every single extra point. This is going to be a good test of EA's thoughts. He wasn't even the kickoff sender. He played 52 downs. What, did he get injured? He might have got injured, to be fair. Punt yardage. The best punter was Bjorquez. Where were we? Oh, man, we were pretty low. I'm not even going to talk about it. Block punts, not a whole lot. What about kick return? Kadarius Toney, a fun player. Darden, Darden was one of, the elites, if you will. Tyler Lockett had a year, dude. Give him best wide receiver. That man had a year. 2 punt return touchdowns on top of being the receiving yards leader and catches leader by a lot. Looking at the last player of the week, nothing really crazy. And the MVP goes to Mahomes. It was probably a really close one. If you were to look at the votes, it was probably like 27 to 23 or something like that. Dak, actually, no, it probably would have been like 20 to 18 to 12, like Myles Garrett. I mean, I've 23 sacks. You got to get some votes, right? Surely. But, well, maybe not. I don't know, but who cares? Looking at all these awards, a lot of red. Who's the coach of the year? The freaking Cowboys coach. How in the world did we not win it? 8-9 with this team? That's like an impossible feat. Of course, let's take a look at the other awards. Defensive Player of the Year, Donald, because he's not on the AFC side. He wouldn't have won it if it was. Olave for the Buccaneers was the Rookie of the Year. Sky Moore, no! Of course, just under 1,000 yards. I don't even remember seeing his numbers, to be honest, but Cole Turner, if he had more touchdowns, probably would have won it, which would have been amazing because, of course, he is a tight end. Chandler with a couple of touchdowns. Defensive, again, we missed out. Obviously, we had some good numbers, but nothing crazy. You can see we kind of took the whole list almost just based on quantity at that rate. Mond, there's no shot. Yeah, there's no chance. Hawkins, even, I'm a little surprised by. Did have some touchdowns, but yards per carry weren't crazy. Receivers, not on the list. If tight ends were involved, probably wouldn't be on the list either, actually, because we didn't have any touchdowns. No for O-line. D-line, we have number 3. I thought maybe Jordan Davison made the list, but didn't. Best linebacker, none. DB! Hey, we won something. Patrick Peterson, the best DB in the league. Woolen at number 6. Tucker, best kicker. I mean, if that isn't a great reason to play the Pro Bowl, I don't know what is, boy. Of course, it really sucks that we're not going to be able to see the dev-ups, because if we are going to play the Pro Bowl, which, I mean, I kind of want to, we'll have to at least see how many of our players made it. I can't go to the Super Bowl then, because we got to go to the Pro Bowl. I'm really slow here, because I just don't want to screw it up and accidentally, I don't think I'm forgetting anything, right? I mean, let's just slowly get in here. Of course, the Super Bowl is between the Saints and the Chiefs. That is crazy, because that would have been our playoff spot. The 9-8 Saints have taken that small chance all the way to the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Let's actually take a look at the playoff bracket. I mean, they had to have some sort of run. They were able to beat the Buccaneers by 7, beat the Cowboys by a lot. Division rivals, y'all suck. Of course, the Falcons barely beat the Vikings, and the Saints beat their division rivals to make it there. The Chiefs, of course, had a bye week, beat the Bills by 4, and then beat the Patriots by 14. But yeah, I mean, that is a hell of a run by the Saints. I mean, it's almost like it's destiny. Like the Chiefs, they're doing what they need to do, but it doesn't seem like they're doing it in the same fashion, right? The Saints are just more gritty, it feels. But let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster and then make that decision if we're going to play that game or not, which, looking at the players, we see none so far. That's not even Sky Moore. Really, our tight end didn't make it. We are on the NFC, right? Brian Burns. Hey, Brian Burns made it. Jordan Davis made it. Any corner? How is maybe Patrick Peterson retired? That'd be a little early, though. I mean, I think we didn't have that many players, but it still would be fun. It's the only chance we're going to see all the new players, unless you can actually watch it rather than play it, which would be... It would definitely be a play. It would definitely be a move, but... I don't know, I'm debating it. I mean, I want to. I don't know what you guys think. Let's see. Do we have any upgrades as well? Knock some of these out if we have any. Just the kicker. What are these? What are these upgrades? Nobody wants these. I kind of want to play the Pro Bowl. At least watch it. Maybe do that video for Saturday, and then later on in the night, after the video, obviously, do the off season and start up a brand new year. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the play. Play the Pro Bowl. Can you actually, once again, watch it? I don't want to click it right now, but yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the stats and awards. Let me know what you guys thought of, the season, and I feel like we got snubbed on a couple of Pro Bowl spots, dude. Unless I messed up, like, Turner had to be a Pro Bowl tight end, right? I mean, I guess his touchdowns were low, but that's really harsh. He was like second in receptions, barely, and he had the most yards for a tight end by a lot. I mean, that's really harsh. I'm trying to think of any other guys that were snubbed. Patrick Peterson. Like, I don't know if he's actually injured or not injured, retired, but I highly doubt it, right? Like, I think retirement's come up soon. Man, they didn't give Patrick Peterson a spot in the Pro Bowl. Are they actually losing their minds? Regardless, though, that is going to be the video. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. If you guys don't like to see this, maybe we won't do this next season, or we'll throw this in a little bit like a quicker version. If we make the playoffs, we'll throw it in right before, we actually go into the playoffs or something, just as like a, kind of hype to go into the playoffs. You're like, oh yeah, look at us. We've got this many players, in the Pro Bowl, because you can technically look at it just by seeing what position they are. I say that, but Patrick Peterson missed, so maybe not. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, if you want to see the Pro Bowl or not. And yeah, that's about it. If you guys liked, maybe like, subscribe if you're new. Second channel, PKR Plays, which I've kind of neglected. Again, like usual. Of course, twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for the off-season stream. It'd probably be like 9 or 10, probably about 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/Jeromepkr. And that's about it. Forgetting how to do an outro. Great. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.